Good evening, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11 Alive Weather Impact Team. We are joining you tonight with these updates on our Weather Impact Alert, as well as tracking the latest information on Tropical Storm Helene. And Helene is getting stronger in the Caribbean right now, getting ready to move into the Gulf of Mexico. But let's talk about this weather impact alert first, because it does include the impacts that we expect for Thursday and Friday from Helene moving into our area. But also, we now are calling for a weather impact alert also for Wednesday, later in the day and into the evening, the second half of the day on Wednesday, because of a cold front that's going to be moving in that will generate some significant rain in some spots. So this is going to start Wednesday in the afternoon and evening, and then all day on Thursday and Friday. The main impacts we're talking about: rain from that system on Wednesday night, and then on Thursday and Friday, more rain and wind, and even the potential for storms, mainly areas east of Atlanta. So what you need to do right now, you need to prepare your home. Go around your house and check your downspouts and make sure there are not a lot of leaves around those downspouts. You're going to want water to be able to flow away from your home very easily. You also might want to check your gutters to make sure they aren't filled with leaves, and make sure the water flows freely through those as well. Check around outside anything that can be blown away or blown over or damaged from high winds. See what you can do to secure that as well, because we're going to have some strong winds with this system Thursday night, overnight, excuse me, and into early on Friday. Be sure to check on having batteries for any flashlights. Make sure that you are charging your phone, and then also maybe some of those, the portable chargers that you can use to boost your phone power as well. Because with trees coming down possible Thursday night, overnight, into early on Friday, there is the potential for some power outages around as well. So just make sure you are ready for that coming our way. Let's first talk about some areas of rain that we've been dealing with tonight. This green that you see around Atlanta, that's not really rain hitting the ground. Those are some false echoes there, but this is really rain up 85 to the north and east. We have some of these showers there that move through parts of northern Hall County into Banks County, Jackson County seeing some of that, moving into Habersham County and into Stevens County. And then even up in the upstate of South Carolina, there's a severe thunderstorm warning with that. That is all moving away. Nothing else is pushing in for now. We're keeping an eye out on this rain well out to the west. That is part of the system that is going to increase our rain chances for later in the day here on Wednesday. This is going to be a cold front moving in, not tropical moisture from Helene yet, but rain tomorrow night is due to this front that's going to be moving our way. Then we'll be dealing with the moisture from Helene that'll move in. Take a look right now at our satellite and radar. Now, we're not getting any radar images from the Caribbean just because we don't have anything out in the ocean for that. But you can see some of that rain in parts of Cuba coming around. And we're beginning to see a little better organization of this system, pretty much centered right around here, still in the northwestern Caribbean, but it's about to move really near the Yucatan Peninsula and between that and Cuba, and then push into the Gulf of Mexico. And in the Gulf, we expect this thing to rapidly intensify and become a Category 3 hurricane as it makes landfall on Thursday evening, most likely, in the Big Bend region of Florida. And this will kind of show what we're talking about here. Helene was upgraded from a potential tropical cyclone earlier to a tropical storm, and now we're watching those winds increase. With the 5 o'clock advisory today, it was showing 50-mile-an-hour winds. And then with the 8 o'clock intermediate advisory, it's now showing 60-mile-an-hour winds. So anything above 74-mile-an-hour winds will be classified as a hurricane. We think that'll be happening maybe by 11 o'clock tonight, or if not, overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning, we will most likely have a hurricane. Then watch what happens there in the Gulf of Mexico. You see how it goes from a Category 1 to a Category 3 very quickly. And there you see in red, I'm going to go over these warnings for you in just a little bit, but in red there, from Apalachicola around to the Big Bend going down to near Tampa, that's where we have a hurricane warning in effect. Interesting thing to note, though, even though most of the western peninsula of Florida is not really in that target zone for a direct hit, they are still going to be getting some of these main impacts. The right front quadrant of the forward motion of a hurricane is where we have most of the damage there. So all of the western coast there of the Florida Peninsula will be dealing with some wind, rain, a threat for storms, and some storm surge as well because of the strength of this system. There you see the landfall we're expecting most likely during the evening hours here on Thursday, and then the system heads toward Georgia. Now this is showing rapid weakening, going from a Category 3 to a tropical storm in just that short little bit over land, but I do think that would be at least a strong tropical storm in South Georgia. That's going to be overnight Thursday and into early on Friday. Then you can see the system just going all the way through Georgia, sweeping through the metro Atlanta area there with heavy rain and strong winds with it. And then the severe weather threat is mainly going to be on the right-hand side of this system. So areas east of Atlanta over into East Georgia, that's where you're going to have the chance for some possibly some tornado warnings with this as it moves on through. And then it will weaken moving up to the north. And there's the entire track that we're watching here as it moves on through. Here's a closer look at these tropical alerts, and you see that in red that we pointed out. That's where we have the hurricane warning, and then south of that, tropical storm warnings and a tropical storm and hurricane watches, and then the rest of the panhandle is in a tropical storm warning. Now over toward Panama City, Destin, the 30A area, and over toward Perdido Key and Pensacola, they're going to be on the quieter side of the system, but still some of those tropical storm force winds and rain are possible there, but at least it's not on the bad side getting the brunt of those storms. So there's a closer look at the red with that warning, and the hurricane warning goes up to the Georgia line, and then here, including Valdosta here in South Georgia, that's a hurricane watch. And then look how far north here the tropical storm watch goes, and I would not be surprised if this tropical storm watch extends more up to the north, because I really think that many areas will be seeing tropical storm force winds as this system moves through the state of Georgia. So here's what we're watching first. We have 3 days of 2 significant rain systems. The first one is on Wednesday, and again, the Wednesday rain is not because of Helene. The Wednesday rain is because of a cold front that's going to be moving in, with some showers and maybe some thunderstorms developing in the later afternoon and into the evening hours here on Wednesday. And that could have some heavy rainfall with it. We have a flood watch that is in effect that could cause some standing water and some flooding in some areas, more of those flood-prone areas and low-lying areas there. On Thursday, we're going to see more widespread rain that'll be moving through, not only as the front is going to be stalled out over us, but then that tropical moisture starts to come up from the south, and that will enhance that heavy rain and that flood risk. On Thursday, the winds are going to be with us there, but just breezy. The worst part of the winds won't really be coming in until overnight Thursday into early on Friday. But we're talking about wind gusts 15 to 25 miles an hour on Thursday. And then overnight, we'll be dealing with more rain, more wind. And then the storm risk will be on the low end for metro Atlanta. But in East Georgia, we'll see that potential for some severe storms that'll be a little bit higher. Then on Friday, especially overnight Thursday into early on Friday, is when we'll be dealing with more heavy rain and a flooding potential, mainly early in the day. We're going to be watching wind gusts 35 to 50 miles an hour here in the metro area, but then stronger wind gusts to the east of us over toward Athens. We may see 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts there. And then the rain on Friday will be ending in the afternoon, and the rain will move out, but we'll still see some gusty wind there that will finally start dying out later in the day. So that's the summary of the 3 days of what we can expect. Now, let's talk more about that rain. In general, we're talking about 4 to 7 inches with some higher amounts in some localized areas. So that's why we need to watch for that flood risk, especially if you live in a flood-prone area, a low-lying area where the water can collect there. The wind is going to be strong. I'm going to break down some of the wind profiles in just a minute, but as I mentioned earlier, here in Atlanta, 35 to 50 mile an hour wind, gusts possible, and higher gusts over to the east. And then the severe weather risk mainly on the right-hand side of the track. Here's a look at the spaghetti models. You can see how these models are taking that center more to the east of Atlanta, and that is significant. I mean, we're still going to have impacts here, but really on the right-hand side of that track is where most of the stronger impacts will be and that severe weather threat. And then the storm moves up to the north. Some of the models even show it doing a loop and then going back over to the east. We'll wait and see if that happens. So here's the forecast track. Tonight, we have been watching just a few isolated showers in northeast Georgia. It's possible there might be a couple of those still tonight. And then early tomorrow morning, a few scattered showers, mainly to the north and west. But then we're going to watch more of that rain feeding in. Again, this is not from Helene. This is from the front that's moving our way. Scattered showers at lunchtime, and then into the afternoon, you can see more rain that'll be pushing through our area. That's why we have extended the weather impact alert to include the second half of the day here on Wednesday. Then Wednesday night, more of that rain. This front pretty much stalls out, and that keeps rain just kind of flowing through our area. Same thing for Thursday morning. Then watch through the day on Thursday, the influence of this moisture pushing in from the south. And that's a lot of the tropical moisture that will move in, keeping that rain with us. At times it'll be heavy, and then more of that feeding in Thursday night. And then watch, you can see the center of the circulation of this system. This is Friday morning at 3 o'clock in the morning. Here's the center of the circulation right around Eatonton, moving up toward Athens. So you see the flow around it, all of that rain in association with it. No matter what side you're on, it's going to be raining. The heaviest rain is in that northern quadrant and northern right front quadrant there. And then still a lot of heavy rain and wind on the back side of the system. But again, that's not as strong as it's going to be on the to the east side of the system. And then this is at 6:30 in the morning already. The center of circulation moving into northwest Georgia or northeast Georgia, but still some rain wrapping around behind it. But if it speeds up and continues moving up to the north, we'll actually start to dry out a little bit during the day on Friday. But the wind is still going to be kicking up there with pretty breezy conditions before that starts dying down. And then we do think things will improve later in the day. Now, here's a look at the rainfall estimates from the different models. Now, this includes both the rain Wednesday night and then on Thursday and Friday. And these models have been going kind of crazy. This is not the gospel here. This is just some guidance that the models are showing us. But the American model is saying more than 7 inches of rain. The European model is showing more than 8 inches of rain. Now, we are going 4 to 7 inches of rain on average, just that rain there. But we do see that we may have some localized areas picking up more. So with all of that rain and with the strong wind, we're going to see a lot of trees coming down, and that's going to lead to some power outages. So I just want you to be aware of that. And speaking of that, take a look at these winds. Now, on Thursday in the afternoon, the winds, let's say, 10 to 20 mile an hour wind gusts for your Thursday afternoon. Then it gets stronger going through the evening hours Thursday into Friday. This is Thursday night at midnight, right? Right there going into Friday morning. 36 mile an hour wind gusts here in the metro area, 43 mile an hour wind gust over in Athens and also in Eatonton. Then as we get into 4 in the morning, 33 mile an hour wind gusts here in Atlanta, 45 mile an hour wind gusts in Duluth. This model showing 70 mile an hour wind gust in Athens. Now again, these are possibilities, not for sure that that's going to happen, but that just goes to show you on that right-hand side of the track, that's where the strongest part of this system will be. Then Friday morning at 5:30, still look at Atlanta. Even on the good side of the system, we're talking 46 mile an hour wind gust here as that all wraps around the center of that circulation that may be over Athens there at about 5:36 in the morning. And then as we go into the rest of the day there on Friday, still breezy. The numbers just disappeared, but it was talking about 20 to 30 mile an hour wind gusts there in the afternoon. Here is the severe weather threat on Thursday. Remember, we're saying on that right-hand side of the track, that's going to be the brunt of the strongest part of the storm. And normally, those are the areas that see the bigger chances for severe weather. So remember, this track comes up just about like that, all right? And then on that right-hand side is where there is a level 1 and a level 2 risk for some of those severe storms there. And with that, whenever you have a landfalling tropical system, those bands can cause rotation, and we may have some tornado warnings with that too. So here is the 7-day outlook. And there you see now the second half of the day, Wednesday, is included in this weather impact alert. Then Thursday and Friday. Look at that Thursday, 100% chance for rain, 90% chance for rain on Friday. That's mainly early. And then it finally gets better later in the day on Friday. The weekend looking okay, 20% chance for a shower Saturday, 30% chance Sunday, then a 20% chance Monday and Tuesday, with temperatures generally there in the upper 70s to the lower 80s. Be sure to keep it with us here at 11 Alive. We'll be doing extended coverage Thursday into Friday on air as well as online. And be sure to download our app so that you can check on radar at any time and get weather updates there too.